All right, the NCAA. So this is probably what I may have lured some people here with, but the NCAA kind of rules over all athletic sports. I won't get into all the details, but basically they decide on how people can recruit athletes, what they're allowed to require of the athletes, meaning your playing season, how much time you're allowed to spend. The NCAA has a rule, there's 20 hours of athletic-related activity a week here in college, at least Division I. That's weight room time, meetings, swimming time, all that kind of stuff. And in the off season, you're down to 8 hours a week. So that's why that voluntary commitment to show up to the other practices comes into play. You won't hear a lot of college coaches. You won't get a phone call in April if you're not showing up to practice because they can't. But if your team culture is strong enough that you're supposed to be there, then you'll kind of get the idea. And also how they can reward athletes. Scholarships, rewards for athletic performance, things like that are regulated by the NCAA. It's a school's responsibility to comply with the NCAA. There's a compliance officer that is part of every athletic department. Their job is to watch over their school and help athletes become eligible. It's to make sure they don't do anything wrong, and they actually self-report back to the NCAA any violations that they have. Of course, you can get reported on by other schools if they think you're doing something wrong, and that happens a lot. But by and large, most violations of recruiting policies are reported. And every now and then you'll see this. There'll be an article about a football coach. They had 15 violations last year. Oh my gosh, Phil Fulmer when he was at Tennessee. Some parents are going to know what I'm talking about. Legendary football coach at Tennessee. He had 15 violations his senior year. If you look through the list of it, accidentally called a sophomore. Paid for a lunch with parents in Knoxville, didn't realize they weren't. He wasn't on an official visit. Little things like that are violations. Generally, it's just a slap on the wrist. I found personally when I was at Queens, we did a really good job. We didn't have a lot of violations, and I remember the compliance officer sitting down with our head coach and going, "Okay, guys, what's going on? What are you hiding?" And it was like, "Well, we didn't do anything wrong." And I kind of went back and I said, "I think I replied on an email to a sophomore. I just told him we'd talk to him later." He goes, "Okay, that's one." I was like, "All right, not bad, I got you." But just understand it's their job to kind of do that and know the rules. It's really more important for you to understand what the rules mean in terms of how they're going to communicate. And if you flip to the back of your packet, and this grid that I put together is online as well, and I ran this by about 4 or 5 different coaches over the last month that have been in part of the meetings with the NCAA, and this should give you an idea of kind of what the rules are, when you can talk to a coach, when a coach is allowed to talk to you. Do not try to make sense of the rules. It won't make sense. Just let me explain for 1 second. So if a coach comes down to watch a junior at practice, we have Gary Taylor from Auburn was at practice the other day. He coached on, he comes on deck, he's really excited. "Man, I really like to talk to that swimmer right over there. How old are they?" "And they're a junior." "Oh, that's awesome. I can recruit them." Hey, I can't talk to them unless they come on my pool deck. I can't talk to them here. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to go outside. You get their cell phone. They're going to call me. He can pick up that phone and talk to them. Now, he cannot call them. He cannot talk face-to-face with them. He can't go meet his parents. But if you picked up the phone and called him, perfectly legal, from 3 feet away, you could do that. So they don't make sense. And there's reasons all those rules are in place. Don't try to make sense of them. I'm just telling you what they are so you can understand when a coach says, "Hey, I can't really talk to you. Sorry." And in everything, a cordial conversation is allowed. So just so you understand that. It doesn't mean you just can't, you literally have to run and hide and run the other way. You're always allowed to say, "Hello, how are you doing? I hope you're having a great day. How's the weather? Thanks." Take 2 or 3 seconds. That is not a problem. It's when you start talking about, "Hey, how's the weather? Did you notice that it didn't rain at our outdoor pool?" That starts to become a problem. And everybody has their different ways around that. But I think by and large, the coaches will know the rules. They'll let you know. They don't want to, you will not get punished as an athlete unless you make a decision to accept some kind of aid or some kind of benefit down the road. So don't get too worried about breaking the rules. Just use those to understand how they're going to communicate with you.